wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, quick sports. Looks like Jake and Logan Paul will be fighting each other March 27th. They should be streaming on Mack. They teased it yesterday. Are you guys going to watch that?
Probably, but because clearly they can't get nobody else to fight them if they already fighting each other.
Or they just want the big payday. But, you know, two brothers really going to fight each other hard?
But that's my point. It's just
white,
like,
yeah.
They're white.
They're white.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like it's too early for that. It's like, yo, it feel like Jake Paul can't find nobody to fight. Logan Paul can't find nobody to fight.
Right. Yeah. Well, good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. We'll just fight each other. Yes, good morning, Andy, Charlamagne, and Jess. How y'all feeling this morning? Good?
Good girl.
Good. All right, let's get into it. So the White House is putting a spotlight on actions taken by President Trump in his first week since taking office. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt discussed immigration raids, drones in New Jersey, the federal aid freeze during her first press briefing, which from the perspective of my colleagues, seemed to be quite a mess in that room. Leavitt read out some of the illegal immigrants who have been detained during raids this week. She added Trump will continue to send a loud and clear message when it comes to immigration. Let's hear more from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on who highlighted the executive actions taken by Trump in his first week.
Since taking the oath of office, President Trump has taken more than 300 executive actions, secured nearly $1 trillion in U.S. investments, deported illegal alien rapists, gang members, and suspected terrorists from our homeland. By using every lever of his federal power, President Trump has sent a loud and clear message to the entire world. America will no longer tolerate illegal immigration.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has said the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigrants has resulted in over 3,500 arrests. Now, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem joined a raid on yesterday, where she said ICE officers made an arrest in New York. I will talk more about that in the next hour.
I'm waiting to see Trump jump out one of them vans. I know it's coming.
Lord.
The way I'm saying, the way they putting on the show with this, I know Trump about to jump out one of them vans.
So the White House also defended Trump's executive order that aims limit on birthright citizenship. Let's hear those comments from Press Secretary Leavitt.
This administration believes that birthright citizenship is unconstitutional, and that is why President Trump signed that executive order. Illegal immigrants who come to this country and have a child are not subject to the laws of this jurisdiction. We have already appealed the lawsuit that was filed against this administration, and we are prepared to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court if we have to.
So the executive order being Trump signed when he was sworn back into office last week would limit birthright citizenship to children born to at least one parent who is either a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. A federal judge temporarily blocked that order after at least 5 lawsuits have been filed against it. And of course, when the administration was asked about Black History Month, this is what they had to say. Shout out to, before I get into that, let me just say shout out to April Ryan, who we call the Dean. She is the longest running Black White House correspondent. And yeah, she asked a question about Black History Month, and here's what Press Secretary Leavitt had to say.
As far as I know, this White House certainly still intends to celebrate, and we will continue to celebrate American history and the contributions that all Americans, regardless of race, religion, or creed, have made to our great country, and America is back.
America is back.
I'm glad April Ryan is still in that room. You know, I saw yesterday how Trump is reinstating 400 media passes, and they're providing new credential passes to non-traditional media like podcasts and bloggers. And I want all media outlets, I think y'all should apply for those press passes to be in that White House press room. I know some of y'all feel like you're protesting or resisting or don't want anything to do with that administration. But I don't feel like Caroline Leavitt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't feel like she was getting pressed about nothing yesterday. With all the chaos that Trump was doing yesterday, like think about how they used to give Karine Jean-Pierre. She used to be in there fighting for her life.
Right.
So somebody should be in there pressing, pressing the new press secretary.
Press the press secretary.
Yeah.
Well, When speaking about federal aid freeze, Levitt said it's the responsibility of the Trump administration to be stewards of Americans' tax dollars. The federal aid freeze has been a huge deal, which, again, I'll talk more about in the 7 o'clock hour. But she said that the Department of Government Efficiency and the OBM found that there were to be about 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza, which, of course, there's been a reel back on that, to which she called a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what the issue, that's where the issue on the pause is focused on, being good stewards of tax dollars. And I don't know if you guys have seen it online, but in Gaza, it seems like they're making balloon condoms or something like that. They're like putting helium in them and making balloon condoms.
Well, people still fornicating. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't gonna stop nothing. You know what I mean? The war ain't gonna stop a little sex.
All right, well, that's your front page news for 6 a.m. See you guys around 7, where we'll talk more about the federal freeze.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Morning, Morgan.
Good morning, NV, Charlamagne, and Jess. Y'all good? Good to see you
Peace,
again.
Morgan.
Good.
Good. All right, so let's get into it. We were talking about it a little bit earlier about this federal freeze on aid. So a judge is temporarily halting President Trump's plan to freeze federal aid. Yesterday, a federal judge granted an administrative stay, pausing Trump's plans to at least through Monday. The freeze was set to take effect on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern and was ordered on domestic and foreign federal aid, with Social Security and Medicare not affected. Now, Democrats pushed back with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying Donald Trump's administration blatantly disobeys the law by holding up virtually all vital funds that support programs in every community across the country. He lists those programs. Let's hear more from Chuck Schumer.
The Trump administration announced a halt to virtually all federal funds across the country. In an instant, Donald Trump has shut off billions, perhaps trillions of dollars that directly support states, cities, towns, schools, hospitals, small businesses, and most of all, American families. Funds for things like disaster assistance, local law enforcement, rural hospitals, aid to the elderly, food for people in need, all are on the chopping block.
What y'all gonna do about it, Chuck? That's what I be wanting to know. Don't go up there and just tell me all the problems. What are some of the solutions? What are the guardrails that y'all gonna put in place to, slow this down, Chuck?
So as the press secretary said yesterday, she defended the freeze, saying it's the responsibility of the Trump administration to be stewards of American tax dollars, and saying that the freeze would not impact Social Security, as I mentioned before, Medicare, and direct payments to individuals such as food stamps. So food stamps still remain. The Trump administration is planning to offer buyouts to federal workers who don't want to return to the office after he's ordered workers to return to the office for 5 days. Now, this deferred resignation would include a severance package of roughly 8 months' pay and benefits. The administration says it expects 5 to 10% of its federal workforce to quit. A senior administration official says that could lead to roughly $1 billion in savings. The buyout offer is set to go through a new system that allows officials the ability to email all federal employees at once, and the resignation period opened on Tuesday and runs through February 6th. So they're giving you some time to decide. I mean, there was a caller earlier, Charlamagne, that said that she wasn't going to do it, and you said that she shouldn't. Why is that? What do you think?
I mean, I don't even know what the payout is. What's the check? And then it's only for 8 months? You get paid through September? Once September comes, then what?
8 months pay and benefits. So that that I guess that's based on what your pay grade is, So yeah.
I doubt the payout is something that you can live on for the rest of your life, or even for a long time, a short term. So it's like, why resign?
Yeah.
Just go back. And if the email that I read is correct, they're basically asking you to kind of like pick a side. Basically, like, if you don't like us, if you don't like the Trump administration and what we're doing, then quit.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But I wouldn't quit. No, nope.
Right. Stay at work, y'all. Yeah, right. All right, so switching gears, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says dangerous people are off the streets after targeted raids against illegal immigrants. Appearing on Fox News on Tuesday night, Noem claimed the ringleader of a violent Venezuelan gang was among those picked up during a raid that she was at in New York City. Let's hear more from Kristi Noem.
We did encounter and incarcerate a Tren de Agua member, one of the ringleaders. He had warrants out for his arrest in Colorado. The community is safer now. That's the reality of it. Everybody who has been concerned about walking their children to school or spending and doing business in these communities now know that New York City is safer because these dangerous criminals are gone. I appreciate the president following through on what he promised the American people. He promised them he would make America safe, and that's exactly what we're doing.
I just got a quick question. With all these criminals, right, because these are not people that they think that are criminals. These are people that committed crimes here and have warrants for their arrest here. Why do we have to wait for ICE to get criminals that should have been searched for already in America? Think about it. Like, they already had already had warrants. So they already did illegal things, shootings, stabbings, murders. Like, I don't understand why they needed ICE to get those criminals.
Yeah. I think that was just the increase of what, the difference in a sense between the Biden administration and the Trump administration. It appears as though the Biden administration may not have enforced it. The police are going to do their police work regardless, right? But this is a dedicated, resources are dedicated and enhanced for this specific these rates. So there are dedicated all these coins that we're saving. They're putting it towards immigration.
I'll tell you this, there's a great guy who I see all the time. He works in New York. I've been telling y'all about him. He's been coming to me since last January, talking to me about these gangs coming in from other countries, and this one gang in particular, tearing up the neighborhood and community that he's from. He's scared. And he's been scared to death of this gang. He literally, a grown man came to me in tears last January. When I hear those stories, and they tell me that they're getting these gangs out of those communities, I think about that guy, and I hope that his community got cleaned up here in New York City. I haven't seen him since all of this has been happening, but I can't wait to talk to him and see if his neighborhood is one of the neighborhoods that's been cleaned up. Right.
Wow. So Noam said the raids by ICE and other law enforcement agencies are picking up the worst of the worst in the country. Now she added that of course she expressed her gratitude to President Trump for keeping his promise. And just switching gears or, looking at the other perspective of this, fears of immigration raids coming to Cincinnati public schools is blamed for plummeting attendance. Now, Alade Cruz and Kendra Adamson, they teach at Aiken High School, which is in Ohio. Cincinnati teachers are calling on the board to express support for undocumented children because they're not coming to school because they are afraid of these ICE raids. Let's hear more from them.
Since the current president was inaugurated, about 50% of my students have stopped attending on a daily basis. Families and parents are writing me saying they don't want to send their children to school.
I have seen a sharp decline in the attendance from my students who are usually so eager to learn. In multiple classes, I am missing half of my students, many of whom who have said specifically that they're scared to come to school because of the potential of those raids.
That's real. I saw a teacher say that one of his Mexican students said, "I'll see you tomorrow," and the teacher replied back to the student, "Maybe." I hope so.
Damn it, man.
That's real.
Oh, wow. So they called to expand remote learning for those who aren't in the building or those who don't want to show up. Of course, President Trump has reportedly ordered all ICE field offices to make at least 75 arrests per day of illegal immigrants who have committed violent crimes. But ICE agents say those who aren't those aren't the only people who could be taken into custody and deported. Just the criminals. They're rounding up anybody who is in the country illegally. At first, we were thinking it was just going to be those who were committing crimes, but no, it's just if you are in here and if you are in the country and your status is not up to par or you're not in good standing, then you are eligible for deportation or eligible for at least under this Trump administration. So,
but isn't being in the country illegally a crime? That's a crime under federal law. So they're rounding up people who are committing crimes, and they're rounding up people who are here illegally because that too is a crime.
That is a crime. True. All right. So just really quickly wrapping up, putting a bow on this thing. Google says it will change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America in Google Maps. The company made the announcement on Monday, saying it's just waiting on the info to be updated in the U.S. geographic names system after President Trump changed the name last week. The company will also change Mount Denali in Alaska to Mount McKinley, per the president's order. Former President Obama changed the name of North America's highest peak in 2015. Users in other countries will see both names on the map. So they will see Mount Denali and Mount McKinley, and they will see the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf of America looking at the map from outside of the United States.
If we ever get another president in my lifetime, I am going to demand so much from them goddamn presidents. Oh, my God. I don't want to hear any excuses anymore. This man, Donald Trump, has showed us what a president can do when they simply just want to do it. Okay? And Jon Stewart said something on Daily Show this week that's real. He was just like, Democrats, get it together so that same power that Trump has, we can give it to you, but you got to actually do something with it. I'm demanding, if we ever get another president in my lifetime, I'm demanding so much from them damn presidents. Because this man is
He
unbelievable.
does what he wants.
This is unbelievable.
He does what he said. He said he was going to do.
He will be on Mount Rushmore before it's all over.
He going to put himself
Yo,
on
man.
He going to put himself on Mount Rushmore.
I think so,
Matter of fact,
too.
he might just get his own
Oh,
mountain.
yeah.
He might carve out his own mountain.
Okay.
Watch.
Hold on now. They
Watch.
already started it. Posting Let's Get Carving. Tampa Bay area Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna announced that she's officially introducing legislation to add President Trump to Mount Rushmore.
See?
She says his remarkable accomplishments for our country and the success he will continue to deliver deserves the highest recognition and honor on this iconic national monument.
Don't ever tell me what you can't do anymore as an elected official, okay? I don't want to hear a president tell me what they can't do at all, ever again.
They're going to make it orange color and everything, boys.
Oh,
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you, Morgan.
All right, thank you guys. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Have a good one.
All righty now.
Wake that ass up. In the morning. The Breakfast Club.